Good morning, everybody. Joy here. I have returned. I have returned from far, far away. Today is Friday, December 31, 2021, and tomorrow is a brand new year. Praise the Lord for it. So where have I been? I have been where I haven't been able to make a video. Jerry decided to take our RV down for its 6,000 mile tune-up because it's now at 8,000 miles. So we took it to get its tune-up. Although my husband never asked any questions, he assumed it would just take a day. He figured, how many hours could it take to do a tune-up? Well, this isn't a car, it's an RV. So we went down. We had to have an appointment. You have to sign up ahead and wait for your turn. Well, our turn was the 27th. Yeah, Christmas was Saturday. We left the day after Christmas to go down there, and then our date was the 27th. So we went down there the night before, parked in their parking lot campground that has hookups and everything. And the next morning, they came and they took our RV away from us at 8 o'clock in the morning. Might have been 8:30. And you have to leave. You leave, and they take the RV. And you don't know where they took it to. I mean, you know it's there somewhere in one of the shops. You know it's there somewhere in one of the shops, and that they're going to be working on it. But they don't let you go there. They don't tell you where it's going to be, and you can't go there, you can't get in it, you can't talk to the techs, you can't say, hey, what are you doing, why are you doing it? And so you've got the whole day to do something, go somewhere. So they took it away from us. We went to Cracker Barrel and had breakfast, and then Jerry decided he wanted to go to Bass Pro, and then we went back to their waiting room. Well, their waiting room is upstairs in where their offices are and where their salespeople are. And it's a real nice place. Lots of couches, lots of tables. They had water and Coke and Pepsi and coffee, where the little curries where you can make your own coffee. And it was very clean. And it was quite nice. So the first day we went there, we had the whole place to ourselves. And so we just made ourselves at home. I pulled the coffee table up close to me and I put my feet up on it. And I got my new project out. I haven't told you about my new project yet. Oh my goodness. I don't even know how I got my new project here. This is my new project. I have a sewing machine for the RV. And I love to do quilting in the RV. Well, you can't do that when they take your RV away. They would not let me come to the shop and sew in my RV. So, that was completely out. Didn't even get the RV out of the storage area, the RV. I didn't even get the sewing machine out. But I did take some yarn. And I had found a pattern on YouTube where they actually, number one, you buy the pattern, you can print it out. Well, the way they describe it on the pattern and the way they show you on YouTube, like it'll say skip a stitch, but when she shows you on YouTube, she'll say, now it says skip a stitch, but this first stitch doesn't count as a stitch, so you skip the second stitch. I wouldn't know that. I totally wouldn't know that. So anyway, this company is called Expression Fiber Arts, and there's a real cute lady owns it. Her name is Shandy, C-H-A-N-D-I. And I just happened to find it looking for yarn one time because I found out I can't get yarn from my daughter or my granddaughter-in-law. They're just too busy doing other things, and I'm just, well, we won't go there, okay? So anyway, I figured out I'm going to have to get my yarn somewhere else, right? So I found her. I watched her on YouTube on several different things. I liked her very much. Her tutorials were well done. She's a very happy person. She started out in Alaska, but now she lives in North Carolina or something. I don't know the whole story. But anyway, I like her. And she dyes yarn. So I ordered this yarn from her. It is let me see if I can think, a worsted wool, merino, and silk. So it is a luscious yarn. The only problem is the dye comes off on my hands. I was red up to my knuckles. My fingernails, they were red on both sides. My cuticles were all red. This finger was red all inside, my skin bumps and my knuckle, and I couldn't wash it off. So before I made this video, I went downstairs and I poured bleach in the bottom of a pitcher and I soaked my hands in it. That didn't work. So I got a scrub brush out and I scrubbed and I scrubbed and I scrubbed. That helped a little, but it didn't entirely go away. I just now sat over there in a chair and took a nail file and filed the dye off my fingernails. I emailed this lady. I said, what the heck, the dye is coming off your yarn, it's all over my hands. One of her employees said, well, sometimes that happens. You may have to soak it in Synthropol. Well, how can I soak it in Synthropol like this? I'm in the middle of making it. They should have soaked it in Synthropol, in my opinion. So I asked my daughter about it, and she said, oh, that's our worst nightmare, Mom. So evidently I've got the worst nightmare from the nice new company that I thought I found. So anyway, my poor hands, they've been bleached, they've been scrubbed with a brush. They've been filed with a fingernail file. Oh my goodness. As if they don't look bad enough with none of that going on. So that was my project. It is called, you can go to YouTube and you can put this in there. For those of you that knit and crochet, which I think is a whole bunch of you, this is how much I've gotten done. Am I proud of me or what? Let me put it on. I think this is going to be big enough for me and Jerry to wear. Let me see. It's a shawl. You know, right now that's all I know how to make is a shawl or a blanket. So it's going to be a shawl. It's going to be a big shawl. This will be the top of it, and then it will keep on going, see? So I am really proud of myself for getting this far. I am just so super excited with myself. So if you want to see this, if any of you are interested in maybe learning to crochet better, learning some new stitches, like me, I know how to do single crochet, double crochet, triple crochet, slip stitch, chain stitch. I know how to do all of that. But most times the patterns confuse me to no end. Terry told me the other day that the patterns that come with the charts, the diagrams, you know, all of the little dots and dashes and skips and stuff, she said those are the ones you want to follow because they are much, much easier. So I might try that. Anyway, this is what I was doing while Jerry was driving the RV, and it made the time just fly by. Jerry's gifts to me did not come before Christmas. My gifts to him did not come before Christmas. Some of them did. I ordered him these really funky lures. They are so cool. The funnest lures. I'll put a picture right here of one of the lures. So Jerry had never had any lures like that. He's got 10, 100 million, 1,000 lures. But he doesn't have any like that, and he thought they were stupid. I think we've seen them sometime in our past, and he thought they were dumb or something. Anyway, he never had any. Well, I saw them. I wanted something for Christmas because I knew this other stuff was going to be late that I got for him. So I thought, oh, I'll get him some lures. You know, he can always give them away or throw them away or whatever. So I ordered him these 3 lures. And he's like, oh, look at this. And, you know, I could tell that he was so not excited. Like, poor Joy trying to order lures. She's so ignorant. No, he didn't say any of that. That was my assumption when he said nothing. Remember, there was 3 of them. So, later on, Christmas Day. Or he wanted to go fishing with his brother. Yeah, so it had to be Christmas Day. He wanted to go fishing with his brother down to the pond. Well, he went down with his lures. And he and his brother were fishing. And so later on in the day, I drove down, or I walked down there to where they were. And they said, oh, we're not catching anything here. We're going to go to the big pond. And I said, oh, okay, let's go to the big pond. So we got in the little mule and we drove over to the big pond. But before we went, I said, oh, Jerry, can we get your new lures and try your new lures? And he said, said, oh, Joy, if you want to try it, you can try it. So we took the new lures. So we got down to the big pond. Well, I can't tie a lure on or figure out which pole gets which lure. You know, I can cast it and I can wind it in. So he put one of those lures on this rod and reel. Well, then Jerry, you know, he assumes, well, he just knows I'm not very good at anything but reeling it in and casting. So he says, let me test this. You know, let me just test the weight of it and see how it works. So he casts it out and he's reeling it in and wham, immediately caught a 2-pound bass. Took the bass out. I said, keep it. I want to fix it for supper tonight. So he kept the bass. That's right, it was that night. Because we ate that bass and Donnie didn't want any. Donnie wanted ham. So immediately he caught a bass. And so then he said, well, okay, Joy, you can try it now. So I went to a different part of the pond where there evidently weren't any fish, and I threw it out 3 or 4 times and I didn't get anything. So Jerry said, let me have that back, Joy. Let me try that again. So he goes to a different part of the pond and where he knows there's fish. And he throws it, and immediately again, he gets another 2-pound bass. So guess which lure is now my husband's very favorite of all time? Not only that. When we were down in Louisville, we found out we were 15 minutes away from Bass Pro. So Jerry wanted to go to Bass Pro. What did he buy at Bass Pro? Every single lure they had that was made like that one. You know, some of them were made to dive, some of them were made to be top water, some of them were made to just sink a little ways and go into the water. They're all made for different things. So he bought one of every kind. So that little gift was a really fun surprise that Jerry ended up loving it. So what did he get me? Christmas morning, like I said, our stuff hadn't come yet and his stuff hadn't come yet for me. But I know I had something to open. I had ordered for myself a great big scan and cut ironing thing. It's not a scan and cut, it's made by Cricut, but you use it for your t-shirts, and instead of taking an iron and ironing here and then here and then here and then here, it's this great big square and you just hold it down, you know, like the laundry, and then it presses it all at once and it's even heat and it's supposed to work so much better. So I told him I'd wrap that up and put it under the tree and that would be my Christmas present. So shame on me. I had to go downstairs under the little Christmas tree and find what Jerry gave me that I did open Christmas morning because I completely forgot what it was. I'm still not sure. Everything it does. It's a GlockUSent LED book light. And it's all in Chinese, Japanese, and everything else. And it says, books are a summary of human knowledge, nutrition books in the world. Shakespeare. So I guess I'm supposed to read books with this. So, it looks like you have to plug it in to your laptop. That's a USB connector. So does it not work? No. I mean, what if you're reading a book and you don't have your computer near you? So this is very strange. Maybe you have to charge it and then you don't have to use this anymore. Let me see if I can get it to come on. Can you see me now? Can you see me now? So it looks like it's just going to shine on my boobs to me. Yeah, I can see the back of the pattern and I can read it. Yeah. That's probably the only books I'll be reading in bed. So, Jerry got me this. Very nice, very cute present. Press mode button to select an appropriate color temperature. Yellow, warm white, and cool white. Very good. Press brightness button to select a suitable brightness. Is that a brightness button? Oh, that's the 3 different kinds of light right there. And so I'll bet these little buttons that go 1, 2, 3. Yeah, those are the brightness buttons. How fun is that? You could like do surgery if you wanted to. Maybe we could play doctor in bed with this. Wouldn't that be a blast? I'm going to do that to him. Hold on, I'll turn the lights back on. So that's the only thing that he got me for Christmas that actually was here. Christmas, okay? And you know, I gave him the little cord snapper thingies and the lures. Oh, and I gave him a bag that you carry over your shoulder with all these compartments for your lures, so he could use it when we're at the RV, and he can like put the thing on his shoulder and get his fishing pole and walk down to the pond. Let's see. So I thought that would be good for him. So he really liked that. So my presents were here yesterday when we got back from NIRBC. NIRBC stands for National Indoor RV Center. And they sell RVs, they fix RVs, they wash RVs, they store RVs, all about RVs down there. So NIRBC is where we were. When we got back yesterday, the things that he bought me that weren't here were here. And one of the things, I didn't even know there was one of these. Had no idea, but I think this is so cute. So it's a bowl, a little bowl, see? And it has this little valley thing right there. Can you see it? And so it goes in and around and in, see? And then it has these two holes and these two little needles, which I guess are crochet hooks. I guess these are crochet hooks, but they're wooden, and I don't know that I would use them. So, when I'm in the coach, my ball that I'm using to crochet with is rolling all over the floor. And I pull it and I pull it and I pull it, it just rolls everywhere. I rolled this so I could pull from the center, but by the time I got through rolling it up off of Jerry's hands, the center was covered up and I couldn't find it. So I was so excited that he got me this. I said, how did you even know about that? So play like I'm in my coach or my bed, and you put this in the bowl, and a lot of you are like, Joy, we know about that. And then you wrap this around here, and so then you can pull it and your yarn stays in the bowl and it doesn't roll all over the floor. Isn't that amazing? I just thought that was the funnest thing. I love it. It's just wonderful. My idea for crocheting was to just do it in the RV, but now that I'm in the middle of this, I'm going to sit in my bed at night when Jerry's watching TV, and I'm going to try to finish this one because it's really something, and I want to do it while it's still on my mind. And I'm going to tell you now, the pattern of this, it's very different. Interesting, pretty, and very different, and it's called Red Velvet Rose. That's the pattern name. Red Velvet Rose. Go to YouTube, search Red Velvet Rose, you'll see it. It is really cute. I bet you guys will want to make it too. So you want to see my fun presents that I got. My favorite, my very favorite is from a good friend, and she sent me this darling camper tin, and it even has my name on it. Joy. Darling, darling. And it not only came its very own self, it came full of home-baked cookies. Peanut butter, chocolate chip. And there was a dozen of them, and they were wrapped in 2. So I'm pretty sure there was 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So there were 6 packs of 2. I think Jerry and I, the first day, we both had 1 pack. We each had 1. And then I told myself, Joy, you're way too fat, you gotta go on your diet, freeze these. And so I put the rest in the freezer, thinking I would forget they were there, you know, and I wouldn't eat them. That very night, I went and I got another pack of 2 out of the freezer, and we ate those. And then the next day, I went and got another pack a couple times, and we finally got up to the last pack. We ate those 2. And Jerry said, are there any more of these? And I said, I don't think so. I think I've taken all the packs out of the freezer. He said, well, go look and see if there's any more. I don't make things like that. If I baked things like that, I'd be out to here instead of out to here. But oh, were they ever good for Christmas. But I just love this. And so what I'm doing is I'm keeping a little pad of paper in it, and a pen, and a ninger nail file, a ninger fail file, right there on my Joy table. And I don't even care if it's Christmas stuff. I just think it's as cute as it can be. So that was from a friend. Jerry got me this. It's what was here yesterday. And at first I didn't know what it was. You know, it's covered with that blue paper. And then he told me it is a magnet and it's to hold pins. See? It's to hold pins. And so what is this black thing about? Watch this, y'all. Oh, the pin just went flying off. Hold on. Okay, it's a smacker thing. You have to smack your arm with it and it wraps around it. Now, I don't know if you had a zillion pins on it, if that would be a good idea. But you could practice. I have several of these things that go around your arm. They never, ever, 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 ever are small enough for my wrist. This is, you know, I have a really skinny. The only thing left on me that's skinny. And this is my wrong wrist. Look how it fits. Awesomeness. So I just thought that was super cute. I love it. And then he got me these things. You know, he just, like I looked up fishing lures, he looked up sewing things. I don't have any of these either. So this is a magnetic seam guide for all sewing machines. It's just a little. I don't even know how to show it to you. It's just little. Can you see? And so evidently it magnetizes to your, next to where your needle goes up and down, and you can either do it according to the little picture. You can make it so it sews straight or so it goes around a curve. Let me show you that. Hopefully you can see it. So he got me 2 of those. So I think that would be awesome for quilting. You have to be able to keep straight even better. So what else? Donnie never gets gifts. I don't know what's with him, but I actually gave him my washer and dryer from my Edmond house. I love that washer and dryer. They worked absolutely perfect, but they were the old-fashioned kind. The kind where there was an agitator and where the water actually filled up to the top of the agitator, and so your clothes were completely underwater and they actually came out clean. I hate these new kinds of washers where you put them in the front and it allows you to have 2 drops of water per garment. So I was saving that washer and dryer for myself, actually, waiting for these downstairs to break so I could put those in here. But he was saying his washer had broken and he had to go to town to do his laundry. So I gave him my washer and dryer. He already has them hooked up and he's using them and they work fine. So he got not a lot of nice gifts for Christmas, actually. But better to give than to receive, isn't that right? So before I left, I was making this coat. Now that I'm back, I'm going to finish this coat. Viv left a comment, I believe it is, that she has made this coat and really likes it. And one of you said that you had made the coat also, and that the reason that this facing piece is bigger is because it's meant to wrap around a little bit once it's on here. So that's all I have left to do is the facing piece. And this was Simplicity 8218, and this is just fleece. You do interface the facing before you put it on the collar. I made this one right here. It's same as this, only longer. Easy to make, goes together fast. Like it very much. Made the medium on the top and went down to the large on the bottom. Oh, it's just way too awesome. So, you remember my last video, I tried to show you some pictures. And somehow the picture of me holding my dog Jolly worked out just fine, but the other 4 pictures I showed you all turned into Chinese or Japanese or something. And you couldn't even see them. I have no idea what happened. So I'm going to show you those pictures again right here. And remember, we're talking about clothes that my mother made for her 3 girls. I'm going to show you the 4 pictures again right here, and I'll narrate them again right here. I am not able to narrate this with my Photoshop for some reason. I don't know. I need to get a better microphone. But I'm just going to do it with my camera like I do all my other videos. So here I am with my two sisters. I'm the oldest, Joy, Marie, Janice, Lee, and Judith Fern. So I'm showing you here how Mother made our dresses. She used the same pattern there and made it in 3 different sizes. She was really good at that, and she could make things fit. She never had a problem with that. She must have sewn only when we weren't home, because I never saw her sew much. But obviously she sewed a lot. But that's me with about as long as my hair's ever been. I'm surprised. Mother used to get me perms because my hair was very thin and very straight, and you can see it's curly there. So Mother either curled it all night long, or I had a perm. She used to have her friend give me perms. And Janice is in the middle. And Janice had enough hair for 10 kids. She does now. She goes to the beauty shop and has her hair thinned out. I can't believe we're sisters. But you can see she was born cross-eyed. And she had to wear really, really thick glasses from when she was like 2 years old. And later, I don't know if she was 7 or 8, but she had several surgeries to fix the muscles in her eyes. Her eyes were perfect after that, and she didn't see 2 of everything anymore, which praise the Lord for that. And then you can see my little sister. My little sister was the cutest, cutest, cutest little girl. She had natural curly hair, and Mother used to curl it like Shirley Temple's, and she had the cutest, most innocent face. She was always getting in trouble, but whatever she did, Mother just thought it was cute. She was Mother's favorite, and we knew because Mother told us all the time Judy was her favorite. She told me that Judy was the most like her, and turns out that was quite correct of an analysis. I've got a frog in my voice today, so please forgive my voice. I don't know what its problem is. So here I am at my 8th grade graduation at Cartwright Elementary School in Phoenix, Arizona. And evidently, from the looks of the picture, everybody really, really dressed up for their 8th grade graduation. And so Mother made my dress. It was beautiful. It had that see-through silky stuff on top of an embroidered fabric. Looked like a wedding dress to me. It was so pretty. And of course everything just fit perfect. The waist is perfect. The shoulders are perfect. I like this perfect. She just was amazing. She knew what she was doing. When she learned how to sew in high school, they taught you fit. They just didn't teach you cut this out and make it. So I was all dressed up, even to the white gloves, and probably was wearing Mother's jewelry. I don't think I owned any jewelry. I sure didn't wear earrings and wasn't even allowed to wear them. But I guess I got a special compensation to get to wear some jewelry at my 8th grade graduation. Okay, again, please pardon my froggy voice. I don't know what its problem is today. But here's my mother, and here's me. I don't know how old I was there, but it was Easter, obviously. You can see that the tree is blooming, or has bloomed. And our house at that time was yellow. And Daddy painted that house. I don't know how often, but it was a lot of different colors while we lived there. That's the house I grew up in. And we had a big yard, but no fence. And that's how come our dogs got run over by traffic so much. But Mother made this dress for me, and she made her dress. And this dress that she made me, it was the prettiest material. So pretty. I think Mother was working then, and we had a washer and a dryer and a dishwasher. We were really coming up in the world, and she was able to buy nicer fabric. But you know, you'll never ever 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 see me in a full skirt. But Mother always made me full skirts, and I think I look good in them. Of course, I weighed, 100 pounds then. Makes a big difference. And then my mother, back then the ladies wore hats to church. And so Mother made her dress, and it's got lace on it. I don't know if it's lace over something or it's just all lace fabric. And then I've got my own white gloves here. So in my 8th grade graduation, I figured I was wearing Mother's gloves, but evidently I had my own gloves as well. I really don't remember much back from my memory, but I remember that I loved that dress, and I remembered that my mother was a very, very good seamstress. Hey, check out that head of hair, will you? I think I did have a lot more hair. Way more hair when I was younger. My goodness, Lord, can I please have some of it back again? I'm going to let you go for now, but I'll be back soon because we're not going anywhere. We have to go someplace. Back to NIRBC sometime in January. I don't even know when. But when that happens, I'll let you know before time. And we're going back next time, I think, to have some paint fixed that Newbar's actually going to pay for. I think we're going to have to leave it there for 2 weeks. So I shouldn't be gone over a day then. One day at a time, sweet Jesus is mine. I don't think that's the right words. But I'm going to let you go for now. I'll be back as soon as I can get back.